this is Joelle Anderson, midfielder on Bay FC, and we're watching Barrier Sports Wrap.
All right, we'll get started right away. Joined with Hannah Bebar and Kelli Hubley. Kelli, of course, played her 100th game tonight. Congratulations, Kelli. We'll go straight to questions, and Paula, you had one.
Ahora Maruri Tenteneye, as a player, how important was to face Orlando tonight? What positives are you taking away that you have a follow-up? Thank you so much.
I'll go first. Yeah, I think we really showed tonight, like, togetherness as a team. We wanted to come out being together and just prove that, like, we can contend in this league with the top teams. And I'm really proud of our performance. I don't think they really broke us down that much at all. We had a ton of chances, and I'm so proud of us because even though we lost, like, it felt like a win to us in a sense and just like a step forward.
One more question. It will be a busy schedule at Paper Park. What do you think about the Gold Cup coming up here, the United States facing Trinidad? And how do you feel as a player to be part of this culture of soccer? Thank you so much. By the way, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's really cool, like, being able to watch national teams in your own market because I know the U.S. was here not that long ago, so it's really cool to have the Men in Gold Cup. That's a really cool tournament to host. I think it's good for the community to have these games and, like, just bring everyone closer in the soccer community. I don't know, you have anything to say?
Yeah, no, I think it's such a good area. I think there's so much going soccer-wise, and so to bring more games here definitely helps the sport, helps us, and just helps the community.
Thank you.
All right, Lee.
William SB Sports Radio Service. For Hannah first, just how do you feel like you're getting along with the season so far, adapting as a rookie? And then for Kelli, you've played your 100th game. Just how meaningful is it for you to hit that milestone and just be a veteran presence on this team?
Yeah, I think this team is excellent at making you feel at home and making you feel welcome. And I think coming in at kind of a weird time for me, especially as a rookie, I've felt nothing but, support from the team. And I think that just continues to grow each game. The amount of people just coming up to me and giving me, feedback and advice, it's just excellent on this team, I'd say.
Yeah, 100 is a lot. I'm old. My body hurts. No, I'm just really proud of myself. It's been a hard road. I just want to prove to everyone that there's not like a specific road to becoming a pro soccer player. Like, mine was very different. Mine's very unique, and I just want to be there for younger players. I always say to people that I feel like I came to this team to, like, kind of just be there for the younger players. I still feel like I'm 25, so I still act that way, but I want to bring as much as I can to this team, even if I'm playing, if I'm not playing. Like, I just want to be someone that everyone can come to for questions and just hype everyone up. I'm a hype girl, so I'm just so proud of myself, but I'm also just here for the team.
Okay, Brian and then Christian.
Okay, so, and we talked with Coach about this, that in Kansas City was kind of him trying to tinker with things and play differently and all of that. And we kind of looked at these three games, Portland tonight and then next week with Gotham, that you got to start looking like you deserve to be on the field of top four in the league. How do you feel you've done in these first two of the three? And what are you looking forward to next week with, continuing that momentum and looking like we may not win, but we look like we are definitely playing with the top four?
Yeah, no, I would say starting with Portland, we definitely felt like defensively we made ourselves known right away, and I think that's always a goal of ours going into games. And then offensively also showed that with Alyssa's goal in Portland that, we're also contenders in this league and scoring dangerous goals. So just building into our confidence throughout the game and then coming to this game knowing, again, the same mentality that we're going to lock down in defense, which we did for 99% of the game, but also knowing that we can keep the ball and we can have, this style play. I think that Albertine stresses keeping the ball and just progressing play. So I would say, obviously, unfortunate that we didn't take home the win tonight, but growing in confidence and knowing that we can and deserve to, inch our way closer to the top and do that through our identity and our style of play.
Yeah, speaking of that 99%, Kelli, you've played 100 games now in this league. Have you ever had a double deflection goal? What was that like?
I don't know, honestly. Goals are going to happen, I think. Yeah, I think it's hard being a center back. It's hard being a defender in this league. Each year it's getting harder and harder to defend some of these players. Like, they're getting so good, so fast, so strong. But, you kind of just you learn from the goal and then move on, because the more you just like sit there and sulk about it, like this league, it's game after game after game. Like you can't just be thinking about like what just happened. I think it's just, I was gonna swear, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna swear. It was really shitty, I'm not gonna lie, because I feel like they didn't really break us down. So that goal just like hurt really badly. And like, I know we lost, but overall, I'm so proud of this team. Like we have grown so much. Like it's hard to break us down. You saw that in the Portland game. You saw that again today. Especially a team like Orlando who scores a lot of goals. Like they didn't really like have that many chances. So I'm just so proud of our team.
Do you think they let them go too quickly on that free kick that led to?
I mean, that's a tactic that I would hope we would do too. Like, they really had no way. Like, they're allowed to do that. So unless it's a yellow card, they have to keep it stopped. So, I mean, they just took advantage of like half a second, and we just, I think we're bummed that we weren't paying attention for half a second. But all we can do is learn from it and move on.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to Albertine too, but you and Abby were still in position. Do you just kind of chalk it up to bad bounce and happens? Like
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
A lot of goals like that happen, and it's hard, but we just learn. We'll watch film and we'll get better.
Yeah, you mentioned how well you played. Do you feel like as a team you guys had the better chances
Yeah,
today?
definitely. Especially last 20 minutes, like we were just pounding it down to them, and I don't know what the shots were or the goal per XG. I don't know, but it felt like we deserved that win. So I think that's what hurts.
Marissa?
Yeah, Hannah, you guys had a lot of dangerous chances in that second half, the last 25 minutes or so. What do you think is kind of that next step to executing and finishing those?
Yeah, I would say, going into this next game and then beyond in the season, it's maybe just having the confidence to start that last 20-minute sequence or that last push earlier, or have the confidence in the first half, I think, to set play and bring it to them. I think we had great reaction after we went down, which we always want, but maybe just creating those chances, creating more chances in the first half, just being more dangerous. And then I think it's just, over time, having the confidence and knowing that we're going to put one in the back of the net.
I'm Mark Lee College, Bebar Sports Shop. Congratulations, by the way, Kelly.
Thank you.
The way you guys were able to get those chances, in the first half, Everton went with the sides up front with Carly and Assad and Rudy. And then, he puts in the second half, the other Rachel, and then Penelope and Carolyn. And then it seemed like, you guys were just found another way to keep them on their heels. Did it feel like that? Because it seemed like they didn't have an answer for you guys when it came to your chances. You just they had the fortunate balance, and you guys didn't have the fortunate balances. So.
Yeah, I mean, I would say a great thing about this team is we have so many different attacking threats. So, at the end of the day, it is Albertine's, tactical decision and how he wants to go about it. But I think just switching it up on a team, making a team kind of being unpredictable in how we want to attack was kind of what got them in those last 20 minutes. And I honestly, we needed some fresh legs in there, and they did great. So I think, we'll continue to build on that and hopefully, have a new chance next game.
Hannah, so obviously tough matchup tonight. Marta, McCutcheon, Angelina in the midfield, the Danner and Sam's in the middle. You're still in your first season. I think coming into the match, you had like 114 touches or so in the season. Felt like you had that many tonight.
Yeah.
And you talked about progressing the ball.
Yeah.
What was working for you kind of as a connector offensively? And then what was Orlando able to do to make it tough for you offensively or for midfield offensively?
I think in the first half, something that we had to solve a bit was Marta kind of going wide, and we talked about that, especially with when I was on Kelly, or me and Kelly were on the same side, is when Marta releases and kind of just floats in that space, who picks her up and how do we shift? So that was a bit difficult, but I feel like we responded very well to that and kind of eliminated that threat. But in terms of me trying to progress the ball, I'm just trying to be an option for the center backs and for the outside backs, and just like provide good angles. And I think in the second half, especially when they backed off of us, I was able to find some success getting it and turning and facing forward. But just being support and being an option, we talked a lot about movement underneath just to be that outlet. So especially I think when they dropped off of us and we had those dangerous chances, I was able to get on the ball more and have success.
Awesome. And then Kelly, last 3 home matches, I think only 1 goal allowed. You're obviously called into action last week, and then a lot more minutes this week. What do you feel like defensively as a unit is working for the club that maybe was working less so earlier in the season?
Yeah, I think we've just really like honed in on like our box defending and like actually grabbing somebody so that they can't get, like, even if they get a shot on goal, like if it's not a free shot. I think our communication has increased so much. Like we're constantly talking between like me and Abby the whole game. Like where's Vanda? Like one of us was going to be on her and one of us was going to drop. So I think just working together, especially during the week of that communication skills, like is really important because I think sometimes, especially when you go down in games, you get quiet. Or say you're not having your best game, you tend to just like go in like internal, and we've just really just been like, let's talk extra. Like it's better to know than to not know. So yeah, we've just been really working on box defending, working on like being more physical. I think that's a big one, is like letting them feel our bodies, especially if they're trying to make a run through. So I think, yeah, it feels good that we're on like a better path of like not letting as many goals, but we still have like a lot to work on as well.
And then defensively, was there anything specifically to work on where you're like, I need to, when I check the tape, that's like my first place I'm gonna look?
Yeah, I think we were just really working on someone being close to her at all times, and one dropping, and I think we did a pretty good job. I think their goal is something we're definitely going to look back on because, yeah, we can definitely learn from that. I think we could probably have kept her maybe outside a little bit more on her weak foot, not let her on her strong foot, but obviously you can say that in the looking back in the moment, it's so hard, but yeah.
All right, Christian?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, you've had kind of a non-traditional first year with going back to school and everything. How integrated do you feel into the team now, and what has that transition been like?
Yeah. No, I've definitely had an interesting start. I was able to come a little bit in March and kind of meet everyone and get acclimated, but kind of like I said earlier, like each week I feel more and more a part of the team, and everyone is just so supportive. And like kind of what Kelly was saying is like we have great leaders and great, we have veterans who have been in this league for such a long time that have really just like accepted everyone and supported everyone. So genuinely I've felt, each week more a part of the team and felt really accepted.
Yeah, how much have you gotten to know the other rookies so far?
Pretty well. I knew Taylor before a little bit, but it's kind of nice that it's like a small class. So I feel like our team is close in general. It's not necessarily like the rookies feel like, you don't feel like a freshman in college where you feel so separate. But yeah, I think with more time, I get closer to certain people, so that's always great.
Yeah, for sure. And then Kelly, you're a veteran of this league. You've been on some really good teams. It seems like you guys are progressing. You're about to go on this big break. How do you take stock of where the team is right now?
I wish we weren't going into a break because I feel like we're at a really good spot. I think the break will also just help us grow and try new things. I'm excited to have the break also so that we can work on like what we've been doing the past couple of weeks even more. Like it gives us more time to like work on the style of play that we want to bring. Because it was like, I think it was the last international break is when we kind of started this and kind of, I don't know, training has just felt different ever since that first international break a couple weeks ago. And so I'm just like excited for us to continue to get better. And like Hannah said, we are a really close team and you don't really find that a lot sometimes. So I think it's just pushing each other and helping each other in every way we can.
All right, we're going to close out with Brian.
So you've been around a little bit, and obviously your 100th game there. What so far do you think, as you mentioned earlier, do you think of that tactical chaos that Taylor Huff creates right now? With the ball, without the ball, she's always looking like she's about just on the cusp of creating something, and the other team just looks at her like they can't stop it.
Yeah, she's a dangerous player. Even in training, I'm just like, how? She sits in these pockets where it's hard. Like, does a center back go? It's a little too far. She just really, like, has really good awareness of where to be, and she just happens to, like, be in spots where she's getting the ball or the ball is bouncing to her, and it's awesome to have her on our team. I don't really like going against her in training.
Totally.
But, yeah, she's, like, a dangerous player, and she just knows. Like, her, like, soccer IQ is so high. So it's fun playing with her, and, she'll see certain things that maybe I won't see as a center back, and so it's cool talking to her, and I'm like, just tell me what you want, because obviously, like, you're going to see things differently than me. So it's cool playing with her. She's a dangerous player. She gets in really great spots, and as a defender, it's really hard to mark a floating 10 like that.
And just a quick follow-up there. So at 4:45 this morning, I got an email saying that the cup is here this year. How did that go through the room, and how much were people saying, now we've got to buckle down and figure out how we're in that game?
Yeah, I mean, when we had a group lunch and we talked about it, and I think hearing that news, we were all just like, dang, like I think it just pushed us a little bit to be like, okay, like we need to start like implementing ourselves, moving up in the table. Like it's just another fuel to our fire. But obviously super excited to have that here for the community and for our fans, and hope to be there, of course.
All right. Well, that's it for us. We'll be in action next week against Gotham.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.